Working on some more throttle bodies tonight. So what I'm currently doing, most of you guys have seen me do this before. I'm putting my brass inserts in place. So I have a special tip on here, and then I put my brass insert in place on here. Give it a few seconds. And then I follow the CNC hole that I have that's 3D printed in my CAD file here. Just slowly let this walk in. I've got a bunch to do. I just finished 2 stage 2s, which are close to 20 hours of work now, especially when they have core shift and you gotta TIG weld them back up. So I've got 3 throttle bodies, 2 manifolds to do, and another one just arrived today for stage 2. And I'm getting a lot of emails from people asking about camshafts still. And of course, we've all been through that. We know I don't deal with comp cams anymore. And so I recommend you guys talk to like Richard at Hypotech or Chris at PIE and get your cams ground through those guys. I put this on here to flatten out any of the squeeze out, so you can see it almost enshrouds the piece once I get done with it. And another thing a lot of people don't notice is a long time ago I used to modify TPS sensors to get a little more voltage out of them. Well, you can see on the throttle body that I've offset the TPS holes on there already. So as you install the TPS sensor on here, it clocks in. And so once you put it on there, it's automatically at the right voltage that it needs to be at. So once I get these inserted, then I'm going to work on doing the throttle air hat hold downs on the very tops of them. And pretty easy how I actually do them. Matter of fact, I'll just do one here. Just a minute here. Finish this one up here. See the carcinogenic smoke coming off at me? So my son Garrett and I, we got a race coming up in 2 weeks at UMC. We're going to be roll racing 2 of our vehicles. He's going to be in his big turbo SRT4 Neon, and he runs a GT35 on that thing. It makes 29 pounds of boost. It's a pretty impressive little setup. And then I'll be running the Pro-Charged Ram. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to take my drill, turn it to low speed, make sure it's on drill. And you can see how this works, the driver. So then I heat it up. Come on, there's no oxygen up here. It's boiling hot. have it. There's the 2 throttle body hold downs for the top. And some guys do bolts through their air hats, and some guys do threaded rod. If I have any back here. Oh, there it is. There's some threaded rod. Some guys will use threaded rod. Other guys will use quarter 20 hardware to go back in place. And some guys make the old bracket piece work, which I don't. I just use 2 pieces that come out and my air hat sits on it. So anyway, so next, now I need to tap 3/16 your evap and your map sensor on this. Whoops. Sorry, guys. So anyway, map sensor. This goes in place like such. Same thing. Evap. Well, I hope everybody out there is enjoying their Tuesday afternoon. No, I am. I'm glad to be home every day from work. My previous job, I was on the road for 2 years straight. Every time I come home, I'd have to try to put all this stuff together. And I get to come home every night and play with this stuff all the time. So there you go. So you can see your map sensor bolts are going to go there. Your throttle bracket's going to go here and here, grabbing those. Then obviously TPS and your IAC. So I'm also working on doing an inch. These are 25 bucks a piece. That's the problem with this though. And I don't want to have to raise the throttle body price by 100 bucks just to use these. But so basically they're recessed, and so they'll go down inside the bolt holes, and they'll keep a guy from actually over torquing and tightening down when I use an inch and 5/8 length. So that'll go like that. But if you can get those, that's the best way to go. But like I said, they're expensive, 25 bucks a piece off Bolt Depot. So, but being shouldered, they're really nice. Anyway, gotta do this one now. Actually, you know what? I gotta do this one's next. This is actually the cleanest part of my job, doing this. Move my phone over. This is actually the cleanest part of my job. When I start working the mill, that's when it usually gets dirty in here. Mr. Rogers. Howdy, neighbors. Today we're building throttle bodies. Why don't you come on in? Watch how I make throttle bodies today. Would you like that? I think I would. Whew, some of these get hot. So now, same thing, map sensor, tap the hole. I have a lot to do actually tonight. I'm gonna be out here for a couple hours. Get my map sensor hooked back up. Of course, if you're running boost, you're running a separate map sensor, 2-bar map sensor. You don't have to use this port. So now, grab now, I just tighten them by hand. Doesn't take much at all. Done. Ouch. Damn things are hot. And I can start on this one later. So next, turn that off. Now comes the fun part. I have to go take apart throttle bodies and sandblast the shafts. I had actually a couple of them already done. So what I do is I take my tester one that I don't care about scratching. See, it's been scratched up before. And when I pull the shaft out, I have to modify the gap where it holds the blade for the 108 millimeter to be able to fit a 108 millimeter properly. So it's got to be able to go all the way through both sides, but not have such a gap in the z-axis as well. Actually, it's going to be the y-axis this way. So we don't want too much of a gap, but this one's just modified. The other ones, you can see, are rounded. And so what I basically have to do is I have to take one of my flat saw blades and I have to run these edges out on this gap. Only on one side though. As you can see, it's on this side, maybe you can see, on this side it's here, and hit this side it's actually farther back. It's kind of at an angle. So if I tried to just fit one of these blades in here without doing that, it wouldn't go into place, it would stop right there. So So that's one of the modifications I have to do when a customer sends the shaft in, and that's the reason why I need cores. You know, when you guys have to order one of these, I need the core specific to your throttle linkage. Like this is a 96 on setup with your kick down and cruise control. Not that I use cruise control, but anyway. So once that's done, I chase the threads on here for my 3mm stainless bolt heads that are going to go back in place and hold this one. And then my springs from the factory. The factory spring is a small one like this, and I had these made a while back from a spring company that give me another 25 tension on there. And I basically go in and grab into that, go from there. But so before I do that, now I got to put my bearings in place and my seal. So this is a 10mm bearing that I run, and I only run it on the side. Same thing, 10mm bearings. So I pop these in place, and then I'm going to tap them in place. Till my bearing is seated. And on the side where my throttle's at, bearing's gonna, my seal is gonna go over the bearing. You can see it's a tight fit. So now you can see the seal on the end. And I don't run a seal on this end because the TPS has the gasket on it and it seals this end. I was doing it a long time ago, but found out I didn't have to do it at all. And so, and it's like $7 for one bearing here. So anyway, now I'll take my shaft. Run this around until it catches on the bottom. Come on, Marty. Until it catches on the bottom. And then push it in a little more, preload it, bring it in, and all the way. Now it's in place. So now I'm going to tap this. Actually, I'll pull this back out. I'm going to tap this 1/4 20. That's a cool thing about nylon polycarbonates is they're so easy to machine and work with. The downfall is though is somebody will inevitably over torque. They'll over torque their setup, and that's why I'm wanting to go to those shouldered hold down bolts. They're so dang expensive. I don't want to raise the price of throttle body by $100. the same thing. So now I got my throttle stop put in place. Make sure my spring's on the bottom. Bring this around preloaded one time and then drop back in place. It sits on that, and you can see this entire piece has been gusseted. I moved all this up in CAD, built the whole area back up so I don't ever have any issues with it. So now I have to go take, and since these are stamped, they've got sharp edges on them. So I go take and hit these on my flat grinder over there, just taking the edges off of them so it doesn't gouge into the throttle body. Okay. Okay. Alright. I'm going to pull this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to preload it back. If you can see, preload this back. Drop my blade in place until the holes somewhat line up. And I learned this trick from Sam Parthamer and Bruce at Flowmetrics a long time ago. Once you drop a blade in like this and you get it started, you kind of want to just open it up and then drop it a couple of times till it hits the stop. And that'll seat the blade. And I can also look through it and see if there's any light coming in through the backside to see if it's shifted. So that's how I seat the blade in place. So now I get the hardware for this. .263, my Allen wrench, these are 4mm by 7s stainless button head. Hope you guys are enjoying this boring evening with Fletch. Normally I'm smoking a pipe at this time, but a little too much there. But I have to get caught up on these throttle bodies. And actually, this is actually one of my favorite parts of this job is taking my time and assembling these. Well. Looks like I may have forgot to chase my threads on that throttle shaft. Alright, let's try that again. Man, I really wish I'd had built these things when I first started my speed shop a long time ago. It's just we didn't have all the same technology back then. Didn't have 3D printers, but they did, but they were thousands of dollars. Well, not $1,000 like mine is. But I I'm talking like 20, 30,000 was the price. So what I do is I get them started, just snug them down, open, drop. So now I know it goes where it wants to go, and then I hold it up to the light, make sure I don't see any light through it. So anyway, 2 weeks from now, Garrett and I are gonna run at the roll race at UMC, which is basically where you go from a roll. They set up some cones, and you go from a roll at 40 miles per hour, and then it's roughly about 1/8 of a mile on our track out here, a straight shot. And there's different classes, you know, there's different horsepower classes, but they kind of just line you up with everybody. So you could be going up against a freaking GTR with 1,000 horsepower, you know. I mean, you can protest against that and stuff, but doesn't really do you any good. All right, where did I put my? Oh, there it is. So now that the blade's stopped and touched inside of there, I want to bring up my throttle stop just till it starts to open it. So it's hitting on my throttle stop and not on the bore of the 108 millimeter. And there you go. There's one of them all ready to go. Mom can ship this one out tomorrow. So now I just put the hardware in there for them. I supply all that hardware. I've got the 5/16 for here, and I run these 5 mils all the way around, and then use black Allens. So there you go. There's one of them done. 2 more to go. It's the same thing. I'll chase the threads on this guy. This off. So once I get these done, I take them over and blow them out. And Mom's got some special packaging. When I say Mom, I mean Sharon, my wife. So she'll package them up, send them out to whoever they're going to. That's about it. Move right on. So anyway, so there you go, guys. Looks like a few of you guys in there. Yeah, I'm still in my Northrop Grumman work clothes for the day. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Peace out. Maybe see a couple of you guys at the UMC event. There'll be a bunch of us that'll be out there. Later.